Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Noor Syahera Binti Mama Razif, CS 143 4A. My part for this presentation is Introduction and ERD.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Farah Azurin Binti Mama Fytri. We'll present about the issue that can be brought out from this case.
My name is Shahrull bin Salim, and I'm going to present about the report and also the conclusion.
Our title for this project is KPM Database of Application for a Sports Scholarship. The company name who handle this scholarship is Ministry of Education, which is KPM. The purpose of this scholarship is can help reduce the financial burden of the student's family. There are several conditions to apply this scholarship. First, Malaysian. Second, students who are in Form 1 until Form 5 for every type of schools, or students who are in Year 1 and Year 2 for vocational college. Third, does not accept any scholarship or allowance. Fourth, have shown outstanding achievement in certain sport and have at least represented the state at both the MSSM and KPM sport leagues. Ministry of Education must save the forms and the certificate safely and efficiently. This scholarship will be handled by one of employee from Ministry of Education. For each scholarship, the employee will keep track of the ID, name, start date and end date of the scholarship, period of scholarship and amount of the scholarship. Each employee will handle at least one scholarship. For each employee, it is important to record his or her ID, first name, last name, position, and contact number. Each student can apply only one scholarship, and each scholarship will be found to many students who had applied the scholarship. The information about the student that must be recorded are their ID, name, gender, contact number, and address. Each student must be registered in one school only, and each school have many students who apply the scholarship. The data about the school also will be recorded, such as school code, school address, telephone number, principal name, and type of school. One of the conditions to be approved for the scholarship is student must get a good grade in every subject in their examination. Each student must score every important subject, and every important subject must be scored by many students. When the student get a good grade in every subject, the system will be recorded of the student's ID, subject code, and grade. For each subject, there is a subject code, subject name, and exam type. Next, I will explain about entity relational diagram, which is ERD. There are 6 entities in this ERD. First entity is employee. The attributes for this entity are employee ID, employee first name, employee last name, employee telephone, and employee position. Second entity is scholarship. For the attribute are scholarship ID, scholarship name, scholarship start date, scholarship end date, scholarship period, amount scholarship, and employee ID. The relationship between employee and scholarship is one-to-many. Third entity is student. The attribute are student ID, student name, student address, student telephone, student gender, school code, and scholarship ID. Relationship between student and scholarship is one-to-many. Fourth entity is school, and the attribute are school code, school address, school telephone, school principal, and school type. Relationship between school and student is one-to-many. Fifth entity is subject, and the attribute are subject code, subject name, and exam type. Relationship between subject and student is many-to-many, so we need to add new entity which is student subject. And the attribute for the entity are student ID, subject code, and grade. The relationship will become one-to-many. As you can see in the relational schema, the primary key for every entity is underlined. For example, employee ID, scholarship ID, school code, student ID, and subject code. For student subject table, there are 2 primary key, which is student ID and subject code, and the primary key must be unique and not null. The foreign key is an attribute in one table whose value must either match the primary key in another table or be null. For example, in scholarship table have employee ID, student table have school code and scholarship ID. Student subject table have student ID and subject code, and every foreign key must have a star symbol.
DML. For DDL, I will show my comment how I create the all table in KPM database. In this section, I have created 6 tables. Table employee, table scholarship, table student, table school, table student subject, and lastly is table subject. Okay. After that, I will present DML in this section. definition, it has 4 queries, which are retrieving data multiple tables, SQL simple queries, column function and grouping, and lastly is subqueries. Okay, so each query it have 3 questions and the total of question is 12. Okay, so I will show one by one the question, the comment, and how it run and the output using DB2 in my laptop. Okay, thank you.
Okay, 3.1 Data Definition Language DDL. Okay, in this section I have created 6 tables. Okay, firstly is I create table employee. Okay, this is my SQL command. Okay, employee ID, data type is integer, employee first name, data type varchar, employee last name varchar, employee tel varchar, employee position varchar, primary, and the primary key in this table is employee ID. Okay, then this is output. Okay, and then this is output. Actually, after I create table, I was insert the all record in each table. So this is output get when I run SQL command select star from employee. Okay, next is create table scholarship. Okay, this is my SQL command. And scholarship ID, data type is teacher, scholarship name varchar, scholarship start date, scholarship end date, amount scholarship decimal 82, employee ID integer, and in this table primary key is scholarship ID and foreign key is employee ID, reference employee in table employee. Okay, so this is output. Okay, then it's also output from when I run SQL command select star from scholarship. And then create table school. This is my SQL command. School code varchar, school address varchar, school telephone varchar, school principal data type varchar, school type varchar, and in this table the primary key is school code. Okay, this is output. And it also I run SQL command select star from school. Okay. Then kids table student. Okay. Student ID data type integer, student name varchar, student address varchar, student telephone varchar, student gender char, school code varchar, scholarship ID integer, primary key, and the primary key is in this table is student ID, and the foreign key school code and also scholarship ID. Okay, this is output, and this is the output from select star from student. Okay, next is create table subject. Okay, subject code varchar, subject name varchar, exam type varchar, and the primary key is subject code. Okay, this is output. Okay, so select star from subject. Okay, lastly is create table student subject. Okay, this is my SQL command. Okay, actually first I create a table, student ID data type integer, subject code varchar, grade varchar, and primary key student ID and subject code. After that I do manually alter table student subject foreign key student ID, also at foreign key subject code, because this because table student subject is composite entity. Okay, so this is output. Okay, this is this output get from select star from student subject. Okay, that's all. Okay, this is SQL command for the question number 1. Okay, produce a report that lists employees' last name, first name, and scholarship name, sequence the report on first name within last name with its scholarship name. Okay, so this is my comment, and I'm run. Okay, this is the output. Employee last name, employee first name, scholarship name. Okay, next is question number 2. The question is, for PMR students, display the student ID, subject name, and the grade they get to pass the scholarship. So this is the SQL command, and I run. Okay, this is the output: student ID, subject name, grade, and exam type. Okay, next is question number 3. The question is, for every student, list the student name, student gender, subject name, the exam type, and grade that get for the examination. Sequence the list by student name. Okay, so this is the SQL command. Run, and this is output. Okay, question number 1. The question is, list the different employees position performed by employees. So this is the SQL command. Run, and this is output. Question number 2. The question is, show result exam who has ID student is 337568. List the ID student, code subject, and his or her grades. Order by ascending grade. Okay, so this is SQL command. Run, and this is output: student ID, subject code, and grade. Question number 3. The question is, list the all scholarships name and the amount of the scholarships. So this is SQL command. Run, and it's output. Question number 1. Display the total of the amount of scholarship for the start date was in 2020. So this is SQL command. Run, and this is the output. Okay, next is question number 2. The question is, display the maximum, minimum, and average for amount of scholarship. This is SQL command. Run, and this is the output. Question number 3. The question is, count the period of scholarship for each scholarship. This is SQL command. Run. This is output: scholarship name and count. Question number 1. The question is, display the students' information from student table who their scholarship and before year 2023. So this is SQL command. Run, and this is output: student ID, student name, student address, student telephone, student gender, school code, and scholarship ID. Question number 2. The question is display scholarship ID from scholarship table where the associated employee's last name is Ifa. So this is SQL command run, and this is her scholarship ID. Question number 3. The question is display the student's information from student table where the grade for subject code is 110301 is A. So this is SQL command run, and let's output student ID, student name, student address, student telephone, student gender, school code, and scholarship ID.
The first issue is the risk of keeping the applicant's record and documents. Many applicants will apply the scholarship and the office will be filled with the applicant's documents. The room to store all the records will be limited and there will be no organized way to preserve them. Risk for the documents to disappear will increase and there will be no backup record. To avoid this happen, the way to keep the documents need to be improved by using online system or system database. All the records will be saved for the long time and the risk of disappearing will decrease. System database can keep many applicants' record, easy to find any data, timeless, and will become systematic and safe for everyone to use. Next issue is about the applications evaluations. There must be a high rate of applications for the scholarship. Hence, there will be an issue in evaluating which applicants is the best and most eligible to get these scholarships. To find the most eligible applicants, Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia (KPM) need to compare the result and look for the best among many applicants. Those results will be written in grade. From thousands of applicants, KPM need to filter out those with result below the standard. With a high number of applications, this process will take a lot of time and also will add complexity to the evaluation method if it still be done manually. By using online system or database system, they can filter the applicant's performance easily and quickly, thus the information will be kept as confidential among the office.
Okay, about the report. In this case study, we can generate 2 reports. So, report number 1, the list of student information including their scholarship detail that they get. For example, in this case study, we have a total of 6 students and we want to know the detail of all of these students. We want to know their name, their address, their telephone number, their grade, and also we want to know the scholarship that they get, like the name of the scholarship, the start date of the scholarship, the end date, and also the amount of the scholarship that they get. Okay, the second report is the total number of employee and their name that handle or manage the scholarship. For example, we want to know the total number of all of the employee that involved in this scholarship management, and we want to know their name, like we want to know who handled the scholarship. Okay, that's all for the report. Now about the conclusion. This project is designed to satisfy the system, which is the need to manage, store and evaluate the data that have been collected. If we compare the new system that we designed with the previous system, which is managed manually, we can say that the new system significantly increased the efficiency of the operation for the KPM, Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia. This new system able to reduce the operational costs if we compare with the previous manual system, which is the previous system need us to have lot of money to spend on paper to document all of the data that we have collected. And those document also exposed to high risk of damage and the loss of document. That means this new system also increase the security on the data information, because the new system store all of the information inside computer and able to back up those information. And also this new system able to help KPM to reduce the possibility of data redundancy, which is reduce the burden on KPM itself. And also this new system able to help KPM to reduce the time needed to evaluate the candidate of student that applied to the scholarship. Also, the new system help KPM to easily access the information that they required if necessary. So, in short, this project able to achieve their objective, which is to help KPM to manage and store the data they collected and help them to reduce burden compared to their use of previous manual system.